Welcome to the flight deck, and in this episode we're looking at my full motion home flight simulator and some crazy upgrades that I've put on it. Now don't get me wrong, this thing was epic before any upgrades because it's a full motion flight simulator with all the fruit to provide the most amount of immersion. Today we are at the cutting edge of what is possible for a home flight simulator, and let me tell you, the upgrades on this really blew my mind. Michael O'Leary, the CEO of Ryanair, has written me a letter here stating that he wants me to test out their new Boeing 737 MAX. And what they mean by test flight is they want us to make sure that this plane is fit for Ryanair passenger purposes, which means taking it for a short test flight and then landing it as hard as physically possible. And what I mean as hard as physically possible, I'm talking no flare F-18 carrier style. Now to up the stakes, I am going to turn the motion system up to full power, something I've not actually done before, and we're going to be putting it all on the line in the name of science and entertainment. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Okay, first things first, we're going to talk about this. This is the Qubic BT1. Now this is a belt tensioner device. Essentially what it does is provide that last missing component, G-force, and a few other things. Essentially, there's a motor in here, a direct drive motor, akin to what you'd expect from a racing wheel, which provides the pulling force on these seat belts. So when you accelerate, it pulls down, gives you that sensation that you're being pushed into your seat. It can also provide positive and negative G. And actually, this thing can replicate 9 Gs. I've tried it in DCS, and let me tell you, it's proper painful. Now, the thing about this that's quite cool is that it actually works as a standalone device. You don't need a full motion system to make the most of it, but obviously having a full motion system does help. But people do run these on their own, and I have tried it without any movement from the motion, and it works really well. Now, I'm a bit scared for when we actually go for a flight in the Ryanair because, as I've said, I've tried 9 Gs, and it is genuinely painful. So a no flare Ryanair landing is something to be quite scared of. This thing ain't cheap. It's 3,000 Australian dollars or 1,300 and something euros, which means that it's not one of those things that you just go out and buy straight away unless you've got a hole burning in your pocket. But let me tell you, the immersion provided by this thing is absolutely bonkers. On to the next. This is the Moza AB9, and it's a force feedback joystick. Yeah, you can see it moving right now doing its initialization thing. We are flying a Boeing 737 today. I usually use the Thrustmaster yoke, but after using this thing, I know it's sacrilege to use a joystick to fly a Boeing, but I really couldn't care less. This thing adds so much to the experience. If you've ever done sim racing or those kind of things, you know you basically can't race without a force feedback wheel. Now I've used this, I really can't fly without a force feedback something for flying. It adds so much. You feel all the forces during flight, and it has a lot of different modes that you can use to adjust your experience depending on what plane you fly. Now, obviously, as you can see here, this is modeled after an Airbus stick. When you're using the right profile, this thing essentially is probably 1-to-1 to an Airbus stick. And obviously, I'm not a real pilot, but that is something that has been confirmed by many people. The Moza AB9 adds so much more to the experience because when you're flying something like a Boeing 737, the 737 requires a bit of respect, and when it's kicking back at you and moving around, it feels like an active and alive thing, which you do miss with a passive joystick. Now again, this thing is not cheap. Like the other companies who sent these to me, they had no input into what I should or shouldn't say, but I would spend my own money on both of the things you've talked about so far. Okay, last but not least, although in terms of the size, it's definitely the smallest of them, this is the Winwing magnetic switch for the auto throttle arm. And let me tell you, I've never been more amused by something so small and so simple in a real Boeing 737. You have the arm switch. When you arm the switch, you can disarm it using the buttons on the throttle. And when you do that, this thing should flick down automatically. Now, in order to have something like this in the recent past, you would have had to spend thousands. But now we have the ability to replicate something so cool in the comfort of our own home. Now, this is obviously mounted to Winwing's MCP, which looks absolutely phenomenal. It does the job. In fact, wait a second, let's just increase the brightness here. So, as we can see here, we've got the arm switch on the screen, and we've got the arm switch down here. We're just gonna lift that up like so. The green light comes on, the arm switch stays off, and then when we click on the throttles, Now, I'd like to obviously clarify that this has nothing to do with Winwing's product. It works really well, but the software wasn't integrated with the iFly 737 MAX at this point just yet. So it really does work really well with the PMDG 737, but there are a few planes being rolled out as we speak. Anyway, okay, and we are in the cockpit. Let's bring this little door thing closed. Let's get inside the cockpit. We are in the 737 MAX here. Let's close that door. Let's close the air stairs. Fun fact, Ryanair have these air stairs to obviously save time on using ground staff at airports so that they can do their turnaround as fast as possible. Let's go up top first of all and let's get the battery on. Battery to on. Let's get ground power on. Oh, and everything comes to life. We can hear everything nicely. I'm excited. I'll align our navigation system and we'll get the fuel pumps on. Let's get the APU started like so. Okay, APU is on. Let's switch our power over to the APU, which is something you got to do in the 737. If you forget, you're going to end up with no power when you start to push back and disconnect the ground power. We will then get our probe heat on the emergency exit lights. Let's turn the seatbelt signs on, even though actually we just have some engineers on board. They'll get the nice wing views for us as well.
We are engineers, we are not photographers. What does this guy think we're playing at?
Well, we'll let the engineers sit back there and figure out what kind of good shots they're going to get, while up front we are putting in the flight plan. It's going to be a bit of a circular route around the southeast of the UK, where we basically take the plane through its paces and then we come back in for initially a touch and go and then a full stop landing, one of which will be that typical Ryanair-esque hard landing. With the flight plan in the box, there's only a few more things to do before we can depart. V1 of 112 knots, rotating at 114, and a V2 speed of 130, which takes us nicely up to our MCP. We'll get our V2 speed up in there, and our altitude is going to be 9,000. Okay, we weren't meant to have any ATC today, but I got someone to do a little special quest for me, so you know, let's do it. Clearance Ryanair 1 Alpha with information Bravo. Remote stand 300 request IFR to Stansted, please.
Ryanair 1 Alpha, do you not realise that you've got a flight plan that's going to the same destination that you're leaving from? Are you for real?
Yeah, it's a test flight, so that's why we're doing this.
Oh, I see. Head to Stansted via the Clean 2 Echo departure, runway 22. You're cleared straight to 9,000 feet as your initial altitude, and squawk 4221. Now contact us when ready to start.
Clear Stansted, Clean 2 Echo departure, runway 22, cleared straight to 9,000 feet. I'm going to question it, and we're going to squawk 4221, and we'll let you know when we're ready to taxi Ryanair 1 Alpha. We're going to get our APU bleed on, our packs are off. Let's get our electric pumps for our engine start just there. Test the ground, Ryanair 1 Alpha, ready for start.
I will approve your startup.
Startup approved, Ryanair 1 Alpha. Now, the 737 MAX. Oh, it sounds so good when you start up. Enjoy this, guys. Starting engine number 1. Engine number 1 starting. So in this plane, it does this thing called motoring. Once you get past the motoring part, that's when you can add fuel. And guys, listen to this. Adding fuel. So good. Anyway, let's go up top. We'll just make sure we get the generator onto engine 1, because again, if you forget that, it's very annoying. And we'll start engine number 2. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. All right, we can turn the ground power off. We'll set RTO and we'll go flaps 5. Let's just do a control check here. There we go. So we go full forward and back and left and right and rudder to the right and rudder to the left. Okay, let's get our seatbelts on, and this time seatbelts are going to be making quite a big difference. We're going to go down to our parking brakes, press the toe brakes, parking brakes are released, motion system comes to life, and the belts, okay, they're working. Woo! All right, let's go. It's all looking pretty good. It's all looking pretty good. And just make sure that this is working again. Yeah. Yeah, that's working. Okay. And just like that, it was time to taxi to the runway. Look at this spectacular visuals in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, it's definitely had its issues. I've had my fair share of problems with this game. But when it works, it really does work. Anyway, without further ado, let's get ourselves into the air. Do you know what? Just ignore the fact that we didn't have any of our lights on. Let's get this on. Let's get the taxi light on. We'll get our decorative light on. We'll leave the strobes off for now and get the logo light on. Oopsie daisy, and we'll get our engine starters into continuous. So already the belts are adding something. I can feel the vibration through the belts, which is from the engine. Now, the motion system itself has got haptic feedback monitors, but I live in an apartment, so unless I want to really annoy the people downstairs, I usually have to have it pretty much off all the time. Now, this adds the vibration that I'm missing, and it feels more wholesome because it, I actually feel it in my chest, in my body, so it feels kind of, I don't know, more realistic. As you brake there, because we're overcooking that turn, you can see these tighten up, and it's just amazing.
Ryanair 1 Alpha, contact tower, see you soon.
Contact tower, Ryanair. What the heck is this? Is there a step there? Uh-oh. Okay, I don't know what's happening with this scenery, but anyway. Stansted Tower, Ryanair 1 Alpha, approaching Romeo 1, fully ready.
Ryanair 1 Alpha, wind 210 at 14, clear for takeoff from May 22.
Clear takeoff from May 22, Ryanair 1 Alpha, thanks. Okay. Stabilizing throttles, we'll go down here and Toga. Oh, okay, I can feel that. That's some acceleration. Yep. V1 and rotate already. What? Oh, the mouse is gonna fall off. Positive rate, gears coming up. Gear is on its way. And there we go. And we are past acceleration height already. Bring the nose down. We're just going to go flaps up because we're going so fast. We're speeding up anyway. Oh, beautiful. Under control, Ryanair 1 Alpha is climbing 2,400 for 9,000.
Identified, continue climb, flight level 090.
Continue climb to 9,000, Ryanair 1 Alpha. Cool, alright. Wow, that was sporting. The belts have relaxed a bit, but when you're going down the runway, you can feel them just pulling back, and just feel that acceleration. I'm lost for words a little bit. All right, bring the nose forward. It wants us to really get that speed, although actually this probably is holding on to the altitude restriction. So we'll go altitude into NIV, and we should hear it spool up a little bit there for the climb up to 9,000. Let's just bring this round. Oh, I can feel that shoulder is tensing up because we are in a turn. We've obviously been talking a lot about the belts, but what about the AB9 in my left hand? Well, let me tell you, I can feel the forces through the stick, which is telling me that this aircraft is definitely alive. It's a nice calm day. We've got a 22 knot tailwind, so it's going to speed up to 250 knots. Let's just get a bit of trim in there, and it just feels heavy. Do you know what I mean? I can feel the weight in this thing. To the guys at the back, like, what the hell is this guy doing? And as I said, we go at this, I can feel that there. We go at this, I can feel it there as well. So, and wow, what a beautiful morning to be flying. So, like, if I just demonstrate, if I just push forward, this becomes light. If I bring back, oh, it just pulls me back in there. These are things that you shouldn't be doing with a 737 because it ain't gonna save you on like an Airbus. Yeah, the plane feels alive. It feels like you are flying something that is interacting with the air. Now, obviously, I'm using a side stick to fly a Boeing, which may feel a little bit silly. Having something that's actually alive, that's giving you actual feedback, trumps any other kind of realism. This feels more real to me than using a Boeing yoke to fly this plane, if you get what I mean. Wow. Now, summer in the UK looking pretty nice. These guys need to do some work. Let's get this off. It's nice and clear, calm conditions here. Let's go up to 12,000, like so. As we climb to flight level 120, not 12,000 feet, it's a good time to talk about the software. Now, you're only as good as the software that's running the hardware, and in both of these cases, there is a significant amount of adjustability on show. With the Qubic BT1 Belt, you can adjust lots of different parameters to get it feeling the way you'd like, and with the AB9, there are lots of custom profiles to use so that you're flying an aircraft that should feel the way you'd expect it to. Now, obviously, we are sim pilots, but you know, we do have a degree of idea of what something should feel like, and yeah, you can really adjust things to your heart's content with both of these software. The Moza AB9 is highly customizable. You can use it with general aviation aircraft, you can use it with fighter jets, you can use it with airliners. Obviously this is an Airbus style stick, and for some reason Moza decides to come out with the right-handed stick, which for most people who like to fly commercial airliners, you fly from the left seat. So that's an interesting design choice. Hopefully they bring out a left-sided stick as well, but that's just a small thing to nitpick. The base itself is quite large, and that's only large compared to like the other joystick manufacturers. But when you consider that it's a force feedback device, it starts to make a lot of sense. The finish of the base is extraordinary. I think it looks really good. It's a nice finish. It is weighty. You've got this almost gear stick style gator because you can actually use this as a gear stick if you're a sim racer as well, which I am. I have another channel called TheFlightDoc, which I haven't posted on for a long time because I've been distracted with flight simulation, but I've got some racing stuff coming soon. Anyway, back to the Moza AB9. It's again not a very cheap item, but it's one of the things that I would definitely buy myself, and I'm really looking forward to trying out the Moza yoke, the force feedback yoke, which obviously we'll use to fly the Boeing instead of this. Okay, our seatbelts are back on as we approach our top of descent here, as you can see on our navigation display, close to our top of descent, and seatbelts on because we need to be safe. So let's get our seatbelt sign on for our engineers in the back. You guys need to be ready for our approach. Wow. Beautiful. As we make our turn, we hit our top of descent, and I can feel the seatbelt tightening up on this side. Oh, it just adds so much. And we are now descending to Stansted. Okay, I've just had a word from the engineers. They've said that actually, due to operational constraints, we don't have time to do a touch and go. They want us to just land this thing because we need to get this thing back onto the line to be flying passenger paying flights Ryanair. Classic, but fine. Okay, cool. We have one shot. The main aim to test this thing is to put it down as hard as possible. You guys ready? Let's do this. Okay, to prepare for landing, we're going to set our auto brakes to 1. Approach speed is going to be, okay, 122 now, plus 5, 127. Excellent. Okay, we're slowing down to 240 now. You can feel that sudden jolt when the engines pull back just there, which is quite cool. Landing lights are already on. Let's have a little chat to the engineers to let them know about the change in our flight plan.
A very good morning to you guys at the back, the engineers. As you know, Ryanair is a pretty busy airline, and they've told us that we need to have this plane back on the ground to be doing some passenger flights very shortly, which means we're not going to be doing a soft touch and go, no, we're going to be doing our Ryanairist landing initially. We're going to put this baby down into the ground so the passengers know that we've done it.
What did he say?
Now, if you guys have enjoyed this video, I want you to hit that like button, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to comment down below what you rate my landing on the Ryanair scale. 1 being soft and dainty and very un-Ryanair-like, and 10 being the best kind of Ryanair landing that you would love to see.
Let's help ourselves decelerate. We can get flaps 5 actually. Flaps 5, nose down, full speed brake. As you can see there, flaps 10. Oopsie daisy, flaps 10, that's not what I was going for, but we got flaps 10 now. And we'll just set our speed to 180. And we are descending at 2,500 feet a minute, because Ryanair, we don't waste time. You can see the shadow that's cast by the overcast there. That's cool. That's really cool. Flight Sim 2024 has come on in leaps and bounds. As we turn to the left, let's get our localizer on. VOR loc, and straight away we're on the localizer, and we'll get approach on, and we're on the glide slope as well.
Alright mate, contact tower.
Contact tower, Ryanair 1 Alpha. Contact tower, Ryanair 1 Alpha is 7.5 mile final, runway 22.
2500.
Clear to land Ryanair 1 Alpha.
Clear to land, runway 22, Ryanair 1 Alpha.
Okay, there's a lot of cloud obscuring the runway, but I think we do have the runway in sight. We have got the runway in sight. And flaps 25. Okay, auto throttle is disconnected, and there we go. And we are manually flying this bad boy. Okay, this is it. This is it, guys. We need to do a Ryanair landing. We are stable on approach. We've got a little bit of a headwind, slightly from the right-hand side, but well within our constraints of this aircraft. Feeling the stick, you can feel that it feels a bit more lumpy and sluggish. And I can feel the different forces acting on the stick in the aircraft as you would probably in the real thing. We're just gonna have to sink it. So I think the way Ryanair pilots do it is they just don't flare, I believe. So as long as we do that, we'll be fine. And oh, we're a little bit high again. So bring the nose down.
300.
Oh, it just feels so good to use. This is, oh, what was that? Like wind shear or something?
200.
Oh, this is the worst approach ever. Okay. Now Ryanair actually have stabilized approach criteria, which I am definitely not meeting, but that's okay. We're on a test flight, there's no passengers in the back, but the engineers are probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? Anyway,
100.
let's focus. Here we go, guys.
50. 40.
Cut the power there.
30. 20. 10.
Okay. 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 We have got 2 in reverse. Okay. Wow. Yeah. That was a lot. What is this? Welcome back to Stansted. Now, I don't really know what's going on here. This feels like a bad idea. Let's do it anyway. Well, this is going to be a hard one to explain. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below about what you think about these additions. Till next time, guys, see you later.